This is EA Sports PGA Tour coverage coming up next. Simply put, there is nothing like it in the game of golf. It is by far the biggest spectator event in the sport. We're at TPC Scottsdale in Scottsdale, Arizona. Hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside my friend and colleague Frank Nobilo. And Frank, what can you tell us about this golf course?
Well, everybody wants to know about 16, the famed par 3 here, surrounded by those skyboxes. Once again, that'll be a topic of the day. But really, this is a regular sight for the PGA Tour. So those of you that were familiar with the golf course, it's now changed. 2014, the designers Morris and Weiskopf did a massive renovation.
Well over 100,000 fans every day, better than 500,000 for the week. It's a giant party mixed in with a heck of a tournament. Frank, that's as good as I have seen all day long.
I think we've got to blame that on the weather. That weather, the wind had to help that ball give it another 20, 30 yards.
Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. On the green. And a chance for birdie here on the first hole. Getting set now over the putt. That's not how you picture it, Frank, when you step on that first tee.
No, you'd like to go back to that first tee right now and start again.
Just a couple of feet. And so just getting started, even par so far. Now to the second hole, and Frank, what can you tell us about this par 4?
A new tee has been added, lengthening this hole 30-plus yards. Plus, what used to be just one bunker on the right side of the screen has changed to a little pot bunker and the addition of 2 bunkers on the left side. Still a semi-blind tee shot, and the hole just bends softly to the left. Another very good par 4 here at TPC Scottsdale.
Be a little disappointed with that because it lands in the rough, and it appears to be fairly thick over there. And setting up here in the rough. Frank, not close, but from that lie, not bad.
Oh, that's excellent. Seriously, given the conditions, Rich. Even par, currently.
Ooh, so close. He'd settle for par here. Has this one for par. In for par. Now on to the third. First par 5 on the course here at TPC Scottsdale.
Yeah, the length of the hole hasn't really changed. It used to be 2 fairway bunkers down the left. Now there's only 1. Still a hazard that runs down the right side. A strategic hold if you can't make this par 5 and 2. And a brand new green that has been completely changed.
It is not looking like a good lie. Just in the first cut of rough, not a bad lie. The only issue is he might get a jumper here. This is a good-looking shot. Crucial eagle attempt on the way. And it's a long way to the hole from here. Never easy. That may have been a bit too much to ask for there, that distance putt, Frank.
Yeah, it's fine to be greedy before you hit the putt, but after you've hit it, 2 from that distance is fine.
1 under early in the round. Really nice mix of holes to start here at TPC Scottsdale. The 2 4s and then the par 5. Now our first par 3. Just a little over 180 yards, Frank.
Plays a little downhill, longer than what it once was. Green is radically different. Used to be deep, now it's wide. And the bunkering, of course, is visually totally different from what it used to be.
No problems there. Really good approach shot. And now, good look at birdie. Frank going for another birdie here.
Just to get on a real roll.
Has to like that one. Another birdie. They get to 2 under par. Well, Frank, now at the 5th hole, the par 4, the challenge stiffens just a bit.
Yeah, the longest par 4, obviously in the start of this golf course, around the 470-yard mark. 2 bunkers down the right have been changed to 1, but it's in the perfect position now. Of course, that new tee added to add a little bit of length to this hole. Green still remains relatively similar to what it used to be.
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. Chance to get it close here. Well, this is the kind of strong wind that will really test a player. Just a bit offline here, Frank, but not too bad.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the wind or just the lie there. Should be okay.
That one inside of 10 feet, really dialed in. Frank, this would jumpstart the round. A 3rd straight birdie.
Some good playing.
Now they're rolling. 3 under par. Now to the par 4 6th. Decision time, Frank. Driver, or do you go with 3-wood?
A lot of that's going to depend on if there's any breeze. If the breeze is at your back, you can drive it all the way down the right side and take those 2 bunkers down the right completely out of play. This hole's been stiffened up, though. The length hasn't increased with that bunkering and that choke point. So the strategy, do you have the length to get past them? Or if you have to lay up, it's going to leave a much longer second shot.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. Beautiful shot. That is tight.
Unbelievable. That is one to savor for the rest of the round.
Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Nicely holed. 4th birdie of the day. On to the par 3 7th. 215 yards from that back tee box, Frank.
This hole hasn't really changed. Still has that V-shaped green where it's very narrow in the front. A high-flying shot in here that carries that front edge, and you'll find the further and further you go back there, the more receptive and that green starts to widen.
Here we go. And to generate some momentum here at the 7th hole. This for birdie.
Rich, I'm starting to lose count. This is just birdie after birdie.
It's all-time stuff. I mean, this is territory we just don't visit very often. Wow, that hurt.
It did. Shot gone forever.
This for par. Good solid work right there and stays at 4 under. This is a good hole, Frank, the par 4 8th.
Yet another dogleg left, Rich, on the front side. And it's a sharper dogleg now because they've put in 2 bunkers down the left side. It used to be a bailout area for the players in the past. You can't do that anymore. And I doubt anybody can fly it over that left one. It's nearly 330 yards to carry that in the air. Those 2 bunkers have forced the players to go out to the right, making that second shot a little bit longer now.
Looking to keep it going here, Frank.
Yeah, another example of things just working as they should.
That's well played, and now a good look at birdie. Frank, just a surgical touch out there.
And the scorecard reflects yet another birdie.
Here at the par 4 ninth hole, Frank, what's the strategy off the tee?
Well, there's one bunker down the right side that you have to be very wary of. 325 yards to carry that, so it's very much in play, and just over 290 to reach it. Ideally, you have to go left about that down the left side. But really, this is a second shot hole because this green is not very deep.
Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
Sit down. Get down.
Oh, this is gone.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
That's still not done. A good third shot. Maybe get away here with par.
Solid play, heart of the green. And getting ready for the putt. Well, you can see the golfer is just boiling right now after that miss. And a drop shot here at the ninth. That puts them at 4 under for the round. Coming off that exciting front side, we are set to go on the back 9 here at the TPC Scottsdale. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports. Just a gorgeous afternoon. Great crowds as always, and you can feel the excitement building, Frank.
Oh, you certainly can, and the 10th hole's been changed quite considerably. You used to bail out down the left side, Rich, but they put a little bunker down there that sort of stops that play. And for the ones that tried to drive directly at the green, there's a little bunker that's hidden in the distance that'll sort of stop you going on that line. So really has to be respected. And the 428, or the rather modest 428 yards there, will play a little longer because this will play as a true dogleg right par 4.
Early part of this second 9 with good approach shot. Now, pretty good chance for birdie.
Really. This is an awkward length.
Well, that's a bit disappointing.
I guarantee you, though, she thought she had that one.
So a tester from 4 feet. No problem at all. Good putt and stays at 4 under par. On to the par 4 11th hole. Frank, what's the best play here?
No bunkers really here to worry about, Rich, so you have to pick something in the distance as a good line. Something a little bit away from the water that protects the left side of this fairway. And it's adjacent to the 15th hole, the other par 5 coming home. So a good drive, perhaps with a little bit of cut off the tee, and that should shape up nicely for this long par 4.
Second shot, good look at the green. Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. Well, that's how you play the game right there. Knock it on the green and give yourself a good look at birdie. As this for her birdie. Not too much and not too little. Perfectly played into the center of the cup. Well, Frank, this is kind of the forgotten par 3 on the back 9 here at TPC Scottsdale. All of that attention on hole number 16. What do you think of the par 3 12?
This is by far tougher, Rich. Downhill tee shot, especially off that back tee. Bunkering down the left, sort of it catches your eye, but it also takes your eye off the water, which is behind and to the right of this green. Got to be careful. This is a real sleeper, this par 3.
Birdie try up next. Might want to check the GPS on a putt this long.
Well, that takes the strain off the next one.
Good lag putt right there. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. To the par 5 13th here at TPC Scottsdale. Lots of danger left and right of this tight fairway, Frank.
This hole has really changed over the years. There used to be a split fairway. That no longer exists. That bunker you can see down the left side, which you can't carry, really defines the left side of this hole. Water still in play down the right, and big change here is the bunkering along the left, front, and left side of this green. So you can't just blaze away and comfortably expect to hit 13 and 2 anymore.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Just an incredible shot. That is a very makeable putt after a great approach. Well played. 12 feet still to go. Continuing to play well. -7 now after that putt. Par 4 14th, Frank, it seems as though you'd be pretty happy with a par here.
You would, even though the putting surfaces here at TPC Scottsdale are excellent. It's going to take 2 good shots to reach this 14th hole. You can get in a little bit of trouble off the tee. That bunker on the left very much in play. The rough on the right side is no snack either, because the ball, more often than not, will finish well above the player's feet. And of course that green is very, very narrow, well protected by bunkers on the left.
That one is bunker bound, it looks like. That looked like a miss hit, Frank.
The lie was okay. It's a little surprising. Maybe wrong club.
So getting set for a greenside bunker shot. Frank, when I think of the great bunker players in the history of the sport, I think about Gary Player, Seve Ballesteros, whom you knew so well. What did they do that made them so effective on these greenside bunker shots?
They had an attitude for a start that was different. For them, it was they saw possibilities. And they would imagine the amount of sand. Remember, because this is the only shot in golf where you don't have to hit the ball first. So they would really choose the amount of sand behind the ball, whether that was 1 inch or 2. Aim the club at that and made sure they followed through.
Solid par. All right, Frank, now the fun begins. We are teed up at the par 5 15th hole. Plenty to talk about here.
Yeah, the fairway down the left side is anything other than straight. It's more like a shipwreck, the raggedness of it. And that water in play, well, if you do find one on the fairway, you can sort of always wave across to the people that are walking down the 11th hole. Find the fairway, you can reach this par 5 and 2. A little bit of an island-looking green there, bunker on the left, and also another bunker just short right. But a fairway missed here. Well, you can rack up 5, 6, 7. We've seen all sorts of scores here at 15. This one's going left, Rich.
Not knocking down the flagstick here, but looks as though it will find the green. Up to the 15th green, but looking at a tough putt, considerably long, over 25 feet away. How does that not go in?
Amazing. Stroke looked good. Line looked good, just did not take that final break.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. Moves to -8. Frank, the one moment that sort of made the 16th hole what it is today would have to be Tiger's ace in 1997 here at the TPC Scottsdale when it was raining plastic cups.
It was also his reaction, too, and that ushered in the Tiger Woods era that we became associated with, which is the fist-pumping, the rowdy spectators. I mean, he was one of the few players that bridged the gap between spectator and golf course. And it still goes on till today. And I think Rory McIlroy probably is the only other player that starts to broach that type of inside and outside atmosphere with golf.
Still to this day, it's the loudest single moment that I can ever remember hearing on a golf course.
How did that not go in?
Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage, and you're not going to birdie every hole.
8 under par, good around. Frank, when you get to the 17th hole, we always recall maybe the single most bizarre shot in the history of golf.
Yeah, everybody talks about maybe a hole-in-one at 16, but really 17, and the player was Andrew McGee. It was a good tee shot, don't get me wrong, but Rich, it needed an assist.
Well, the assist came from Tom Byram, whose brother Kurt is a commentator for the Golf Channel. Tom Byram was just minding his own business, standing on the green, sort of leaning on his putter, and you know what happened.
Yeah, the ball hit Tom Byram's putter and then careened into the hole. So, 17. Made famous a little bit of history with a couple of names to drag up from the past.
Speed wasn't bad on that long putt, but the read wasn't very good. It's a big putt right here for birdie. Great shot to get the birdie.
Rich, 18 was always considered a long finishing hole.
Not for J.B. Holmes.
Yeah, the water was always in play. And then the day he took it over the left side and carried everything and went on to win, that completely changed the way this golf course played ever since that day.
And it resulted in some of the changes we're seeing now.
Yeah, evidence, the new bunkering down the left side, but it showed us all how much and how strong these guys are, how much they've improved over the years.
This is a good-looking shot. Great way to finish off the final approach shot with a birdie opportunity. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Makes it right in the center. Frank, that was an impressive round out there today.
Couldn't agree more, Rich. We've seen some great shots out there, and I'm excited to see how the rest of this tournament plays out.
This is EA Sports. PGA Tour coverage coming up next. Here at the TPC Scottsdale in Arizona, and Frank, when so many people tune in to watch this great event, they think immediately of the 16th hole with all of those fans jammed in. It's like Fenway Park inside the desert there, but it's much more than that little par 3, isn't it?
It certainly is more than that, Rich. The TPC Scottsdale is a great venue for a PGA Tour event. It's a blend of everything: birdie opportunities, holes that are fought by water, bunkering that's being changed. All in all, it's a great atmosphere with nearly 500,000 people that visit this during the tournament week.
That is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a formality now. Ooh, chance for birdie.
1 under early in the round. Now to the second hole. And Frank, what can you tell us about this par 4?
A new tee has been added, lengthening this hole 30-plus yards. Plus, what used to be just one bunker on the right side of the screen has changed to a little pot bunker, and the addition of 2 bunkers on the left side. Still a semi-blind tee shot, and the hole just bends softly to the left. Another very good par 4 here at TPC Scottsdale.
That is tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there. Safely on deck.
She is putting the full arsenal of her skill set on display this afternoon. Beautiful shot. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. And that drops for another birdie. 2 in a row to start the round. Now on to the third, first par 5 on the course here at TPC Scottsdale.
Yeah, the length of the hole hasn't really changed. Used to be 2 fairway bunkers down the left, now there's only 1. Still a hazard that runs down the right side. A strategic hole if you can't make this par 5 and 2 in a brand new green that has been completely changed.
Nicely played shot, about 310 yards down the fairway. Okay, the second shot now at this par 5.
Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. Into the thick stuff, that's a difficult lie. And setting up here in the rough. Coming out of the rough and right up next to the hole. Frank, this would jumpstart the round. A third straight birdie.
Some good playing.
Now they're rolling. 3 under par. Really nice mix of holes to start here at TPC Scottsdale. The 2 4s and then the par 5. Now our first par 3. Just a little over 180 yards, Frank.
Plays a little downhill, longer than what it once was. Green is radically different. Used to be deep, now it's wide. And the bunkering, of course, is visually totally different from what it used to be.
Birdie try up next. Shouldn't be a problem here. So close, just a tap in from there. Did the job right there. Frank, this is a demanding driving hole, the par 4 5th.
Another hole that bends gently to the left. There used to be 2 bunkers down the right side. It's now 1, and it's in the perfect position to make you think about your tee shot. Really, you have to be left of that. The new tee's added a little bit of yardage to it. The green still looks the same as what it once was. Tilts slightly from left to right. But you can see why a draw is the preferred shot at TPC Scottsdale.
Second shot. Good look at the green. Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. No problems there. Really good approach shot. And now, good look at birdie. Settles in over the putt. Well, that's a bit disappointing.
I guarantee you, though, she thought she had that one.
Nice par to remain 3 under. Par 4 sixth, and Frank, a couple of options here.
Yeah, a hole that bends to the left. A draw is the preferred shot off the tee. The longer hitters will have a big advantage. They'll be able to get it down there and just have a pitch or a short wedge into this. If you're not, that long, then you're going to have to lay it back short of those bunkers. That's going to leave a lengthy second shot.
She's ended up on the fairway with such a good lie. So many more options available now. Chance to get it close here. She is really dialed in. All facets of her game are clicking. On the green in regulation. And it's a long way to the hole from here. Never easy. Do that. What a putt. On to the par 3 seventh, 215 yards from that back tee box, Frank.
This hole hasn't really changed. Still has that V-shaped green where it's very narrow in the front. A high-flying shot in here that carries that front edge, and you'll find the further and further you go back there, the more receptive and that green starts to widen.
Not a huge miss, Frank, but did lose this just a little to the right.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to catch a piece of the green, though.
Just a bit offline.
Yeah, the hard work's coming up now, though. It's a long way away.
Needs a pair of binoculars to see the hole. That was not a very good read right there. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Nothing wrong with that par putt. Frank, the par 4 eighth, this is a good hole.
It is. A dog leg to the left forces the player to go out the right, and this will play every inch of its yardage, which is over 470 yards. Green's still pretty much the same with that false front. Unless there's a flag position in the front, you're really going to have to fly it at least 20 yards or so into that green. Otherwise, that ball is going to run towards the front. That's a ginormous tee shot.
115 yards left. Frank, what's that, a good 6-iron for you? Frank, this is the way you draw it up. This is how the game's supposed to be played.
Yeah, so far, everything going according to plan.
It should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Dialed in once again. She has played a superb approach shot. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. that moves to 5 under par. Rounding out the front 9 with a par 4 of 453 yards from the back tee. Looks to be straight away here, Frank. Anything to be cautious about on this tee shot?
Well, that bunker, there used to be 2 bunkers down the right side. There is now 1, and it also pinches into the fairway, which almost makes this hole look like a faint dogleg right. But really, the best line is still down the left side, so it still actually suits a draw off the tee. Green is slightly elevated and not very deep too, so judging that second shot, getting the right club is essential here at 9.
And that's how you play the game, right there. And this will be a 5-foot putt here. Continues to amaze, yet another birdie, and what a day it's been. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back.
Excellent looking shot here.
That's an absolute beauty.
Settles in, looking to knock it in tight. It is a windy day out here, Frank. My hat just blew off. This is going to affect the players' shots, that's for sure. Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
That's still not done. A good third shot. Maybe get away here with par.
Solid play, heart of the green. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Moving on to the 11th hole, Frank, water all along the left side, 472 yards. How do you handle this one?
Well, this one's weird because the tees are a little off-center. They start down the right side, which makes it into a dogleg. And you mentioned the water. It always comes into play. And there are 0 fairway bunkers. You don't need them here at 11 because really it's all about the tee shot. Find the fairway, then even though it's a long par 4, you should be able to at least attack that green safely. Miss the fairway to the right, which is the bailout side, and your problems are just starting.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. Didn't hit it in there close, but you see the odd make from this distance.
Yeah, my tape measure gives us 26 feet.
This can be a cruel game at times. Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
Good round going at 6 under. Par 3 12 may not be as famous as the par 3 16th, but Frank, you think this may be a tougher and even better hole?
We see more bogeys and double bogeys here on 12 than 16 will ever see, and courtesy of the water behind and to the right of this green. If you're going to bail out, find one of those bunkers. Well, a good bunker player obviously can get it up and down, but it's still no snack trying to record your par 3 at 12. Now, this is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. And the tee shot ends up in the bunker. Now from the bunker.
Yeah, just a little splash out on this par 3.
Frank, that reminds you of maybe what, the greatest bunker player of all time? Shouldn't be a problem here. Keeping pace. Good stuff right there. 6 under par. Par 5 13th. Chance for birdie or maybe even eagle if you're bold and brave enough. But also, Frank, chance for disaster here?
Well, there is. Water very much in play down the right side. There's a bunker down the left too. If you finish up in that, there's no way you're going for this par 5 and 2. Then it becomes a little bit of a zigzag mission. The second shot either has to be hit down the right side, just skirting that bunker in the front, or it has to be all carry.
Second shot coming up here at the par 5. That is just an outstanding shot right there. And now a chance for an eagle. Moves to -8. At the 14th now, it's a par 4.
And a dogleg left once again. The bunker on the left side's been pushed out to the fairway to really make you think whether or not you can carry that. It's a lengthy second shot because it's going to play a little bit uphill. And this green is well protected on the left side with the 2 bunkers. Oh, I liked that.
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. This one will play a little bit longer. It's up the hill to that green. Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. Midway through this back 9, could use this birdie here at the 14th. This one just requires a little bit of focus. So close, just a tap in from there. Did the job right there. All right, Frank, now the fun begins. We are teed up at the par 5 15th hole. Plenty to talk about here.
Yeah, the fairway down the left side is anything other than straight. It's more like a shipwreck, the raggedness of it. And that water in play, well, if you do find one on the fairway, you can sort of always wave across to the people that are walking down the 11th hole. Find the fairway, you can reach this par 5 and 2. A little bit of an island-looking green there, bunker on the left, and also another bunker just short right. But a fairway missed here. Well, you can rack up 5, 6, 7. We've seen all sorts of scores here at 15.
Into the thick stuff, that's a difficult lie. This requires a lot of speed through the ball.
I mean, the skill, and that was sublime.
Just good hands, coming out of the rough, able to manage the distance, and now in great position. Beautifully done. That's a birdie. Now to the 16th hole, and Frank, what makes this so special is the walk underneath the grandstands. It's the Gladiator coming into the Coliseum.
That's a perfect description, Rich, and that's why this hole is unlike any other hole on the PGA Tour. The atmosphere that the players feel on that tee, they cannot prepare for, they can't experience anywhere else. This is a once-in-a-lifetime par 3.
And when you look at it from up high with the blimp view, it sort of appears as though they dropped Fenway Park or Wrigley Field right into the desert. And this is a sellout crowd. I mean, this is 20,000 fans, and there's nothing like it. There's not a single hole in golf that has more fans on it than the 16th here at TPC Scottsdale. That may have been a bit too much to ask for there, that distance putt, Frank.
Yeah, it's fine to be greedy before you hit the putt, but after you've hit it, 2 from that distance is fine.
Well into red figures at 9 under for the round.
17th hole, Frank, and this one is really set up for maximum excitement.
Well, there's 2 things that you really think of. How do I play this hole, and how is it going to affect the rest of my round? This is the penultimate hole. If you make a mistake here, it'll carry over. It might cost you the tournament. But if you're a hero, it's going to carry forward to 18. This is why 17 is such a big swing hole.
Well, too bad, Frank. That one rolled right off the green.
It was just coming out so hot.
Great knees, great hands in this shot.
Yeah, touch. You have to have that feel. You have something between the ball and the club face, so it's a different feel, but you also have to have imagination.
On the green in regulation. Locked in on the read and the speed. Well, there's impressive, and then there's mind-boggling. We're at mind-boggling now. 10 under par. Par 4 18th, and Frank, if you are trying to win the tournament out here at TPC Scottsdale, this is all you want down the stretch.
It is. There's a short bunker there, obviously for the recreational player to respect. 3 bunkers down the right side protected, and that new bunkering situation down the left there to stop the attack of a Bubba Watson or a J.B. Holmes. Now this tee shot is going to have to be respected, and the green too is anything other than flat.
Second shot, good look at the green. Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. So maybe a nice way to finish up with a good approach here to the 18th and a good chance for birdie.
It's that sneaky distance.
So close. Wow, almost fell within just a few inches of dropping. This would give her the par. Nothing wrong with that par putt. Frank, you have to like what you saw out there today.
I certainly did. Swing is excellent right now. Stroke, there's nothing wrong with that. Really, just it's a case of getting out of your own way. I mean, the opportunities ahead now, chance to win, just they have to be so motivating.